Hi guys, how you doing? Before we start the story, I just want to ask for a little support. Please help me reach 1,000 subscribers. It means the world to me. Don't forget to hit that like button, drop a comment, and of course, subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much, and now let's get into today's story.
This is a story from Reddit, and trust me, you'll want to hear it until the end. I'm Cassian. I never thought my marriage would turn into a public circus, but here we are. My wife, Celine, always had a flair for the dramatic, but what happened that night was beyond anything I could have imagined. It started as a simple plan, a family dinner at our house. My parents were coming, her parents were coming, and even our daughter's godmother, Aurelia, was stopping by. The goal was simple, to show that despite the usual arguments, our family was still solid. I spent hours preparing the dining room, setting the table, polishing glasses. I wanted this dinner to be perfect, but Celine, she had other plans. She floated around the house in a glittery dress, far too flashy for a family evening. I remember asking, "Celine, don't you think that's a little much?" She just smirked, kissed me on the cheek, and whispered, "You'll see." I should have taken that as a warning. As everyone gathered, laughter filled the room. My father, Dorian, poured wine. Her mother, Octavia, complimented the roast chicken. I thought maybe for one night things would be normal. Then, halfway through passing the potatoes, Celine stood up, clinked her glass, and announced, "All right, everyone, time for a little surprise." She pulled out a ring light, her phone, and a small tripod. My stomach dropped. "Celine, what are you doing?" I asked. She grinned, turned on the light, and in a cheerful voice said, "Welcome back, my lovely subscribers. Tonight, you're joining us for something special, family dinner." Everyone froze. My mother nearly dropped her fork. Aurelia's jaw went slack. I tried to cut in. "Celine, not now, not here." But she was already live on OnlyFans. I heard the pinging of notifications, the flood of messages and tips coming in. She posed, giggled, and waved at the camera, completely ignoring the horror on her family's faces. And then came the worst part. She shoved the phone into my hands and said, "Cassian, hold this for me. Get my good side." The room went dead silent. All I could hear was the faint crackle of the fireplace and the sound of strangers typing in the chat. My own wife had turned me into her cameraman. I wanted to drop the phone right there, but she stared at me with that daring look, the kind that meant, if you refuse, I'll make a scene bigger than this. So I stood there, holding the camera while she leaned towards the lens, blowing kisses, twirling her hair, and reading out comments like, "Oh, thank you, Draven, for the 20 tip. Yes, I am wearing silk." Across the table, my father's face burned red. My mother muttered, "This is shameful." Her father, usually calm, slammed his fist on the table. "Celine, this is disgraceful. You're humiliating your husband." Celine didn't even flinch. She laughed and said into the camera, "Sorry guys, the older generation just doesn't get it. But don't worry, you get me." I could see Aurelia shifting uncomfortably, avoiding eye contact. Our daughter sat quietly, confused by all the tension. I felt like the ground beneath me was splitting open. Halfway through, one subscriber asked in the chat if her husband minded her doing this, and Celine, with the cruelest smirk, looked directly at me, then back at the camera, and said, "Oh, he's fine. He's holding the phone, isn't he? Supportive husbands are the best." Everyone turned to me. I wanted to vanish, to scream, to smash that phone into 1,000 pieces, but I just stood there, trapped in the humiliation, shaking. The climax came when she raised her glass of wine to the camera and said, "Here's to freedom, to modern love, and to making your own rules." She winked, took a sip, and the chat exploded with emojis and donations. That was it. My father stood up, threw his napkin down, and left the table. My mother followed, whispering, "Cassian, you don't deserve this." Her parents left too, muttering about shame and disgrace. By the end of the night, it was just me, Celine, and her glowing phone screen filled with faceless men cheering her on. When she finally ended the stream, she turned to me, almost annoyed, and said, "What's your problem? I made more money in one dinner than you do in a week. This is the future. You should be proud." Proud? Watching my wife turn our sacred family dinner into cheap entertainment for strangers? Watching her parents walk out, ashamed? Watching my own dignity dissolve in front of me? I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I just placed her phone back on the table and said, "Celine, you didn't just humiliate me, you destroyed us." And that was the truth. In one evening, she broke every bond between families, between husband and wife, between respect and disgrace. I don't know if our marriage can survive this. I don't know if I can survive this. But I do know one thing. I will never forget the moment my wife asked me to hold the camera while she sold our life for likes.